Most people grow up believing love should feel urgent, as if the moment you stop chasing, it might disappear, as if uncertainty and anxiety are proof that something meaningful is happening. But the love that is real does not arrive shaking your heart. It does not ask you to beg for reassurance or rush to be chosen. It does not keep you awake questioning your worth. Real love is quieter than that. It settles before it excites. It calms before it claims. When love is sincere, your heart does not feel hunted. It feels held. And instead of confusion, there is clarity. Instead of pressure, there is patience. If you have ever felt exhausted trying to hold on to something called love, this message is not here to accuse you. It is here to remind you of a truth your heart already recognizes. Because when love is real, it does not need desperation to survive. It leaves its signature in one place only: peace. Real love never begs to be believed. If someone has to constantly remind you that they love you, something within the connection is already fragile. Love that is genuine does not survive on repeated declarations alone. It is not anxious about being questioned, and it does not collapse the moment reassurance is delayed. Real love is confident in its own truth, and confidence never begs. Desperation often hides behind loud words. When love is insecure, it tries to prove itself again and again through promises, emotional speeches, or sudden displays of intensity. But intensity is not the same as sincerity. A person who truly loves you does not need to convince you, because their behavior quietly confirms what their words claim. Their presence is consistent. Their actions align with what they say. Over time, the heart understands without being pushed. In Islam, truth is recognized by steadiness, not pressure. What is real does not rush to defend itself because it trusts time to reveal it. When something is written by Allah, it carries a natural sense of stability. You do not feel forced to believe. You are not cornered into trust. Instead, certainty grows gently, just as faith grows in a heart, through consistency and sincerity, not coercion. Love that begs to be believed often fears being exposed. It becomes restless when questioned and defensive when asked for clarity. This kind of attachment creates emotional exhaustion because you are always being pulled into reassurance rather than allowed to rest in certainty. Real love never places that burden on your heart. It does not make you feel guilty for needing time or clarity. It understands that trust is earned, not demanded. A sincere person is patient with your process. They do not pressure you to accept feelings faster than your heart is ready. They respect your pace because they are not afraid of losing what is meant to stay. In contrast, desperation fears delay because it is unsure of its foundation. That fear turns into urgency, pressure, and constant explanation. Allah teaches us that truth stands firm without shouting. Falsehood, on the other hand, is always loud and defensive. The same principle applies to love. When affection is real, it settles into the heart naturally. You feel safe, not overwhelmed. You feel clarity, not confusion. Your soul recognizes honesty before your mind can articulate it. If you ever feel pressured to believe, to trust quickly, or to ignore your discomfort just to keep a connection alive, pause. Love that comes from Allah never requires you to silence your intuition. It does not need to be protected by emotional force. It protects itself through integrity. Real love allows you to see clearly. It gives you space to observe, to reflect, and to choose without fear. And when love is sincere, belief does not feel like a demand. It feels like recognition. Peace replaces confusion when love is true. Confusion is one of the most misunderstood feelings in relationships. Many people assume that uncertainty is a normal part of love, that emotional instability means something deep is happening. But in reality, confusion is rarely a sign of love growing. More often, it is a sign of misalignment. When love is true, it does not leave your heart constantly unsettled. Real love brings clarity, even when circumstances are difficult. It does not keep you guessing about intentions, commitment, or direction. You may not know every detail of the future, but you know where you stand. Your heart is not trapped in endless questioning. There is a quiet understanding that develops, one that does not require decoding mixed signals or reading between the lines. Confusion usually comes from inconsistency. One day warmth, the next day distance. One moment certainty, the next moment silence. This emotional imbalance forces the heart into a state of vigilance. You begin to overthink words, analyze tone, and replay moments looking for meaning. This is not love strengthening. This is the heart trying to protect itself from instability. In Islam, peace is a sign of alignment. Allah does not guide the heart toward what will repeatedly disturb it without purpose. When something is meant for you, it carries sakina, a calm that settles rather than agitates. Even before love fully forms, peace begins to appear. Not excitement, not obsession, but emotional steadiness. True love does not thrive in ambiguity. It understands that clarity is mercy. A person who loves sincerely does not enjoy keeping you uncertain. They do not disappear to create longing or withhold reassurance to feel powerful. They speak clearly, act clearly, and allow their intentions to be known through consistency. They do not treat confusion as romance. Confusion drains emotional energy. It keeps the heart tense or always preparing for disappointment. Peace, on the other hand, allows the heart to rest. When love is real, you feel grounded. You are not afraid to ask questions, and you are not punished for seeking understanding. Your emotions are not constantly swinging between hope and doubt. Many people stay in confusing connections because they fear peace will feel boring. But peace is not emptiness. Peace is safety. It is the absence of emotional threat. It is knowing that your heart is not being played with or tested for endurance. Love that is true does not test how much confusion you can survive. It offers stability instead. If a connection repeatedly robs you of peace, it deserves honest reevaluation. What Allah places in your life to stay will not require constant emotional struggle to understand. When love is real, confusion fades, and in its place, peace quietly takes root. Desperation chases, love waits without fear. Desperation reveals itself through urgency. It rushes conversations, accelerates attachment, and pushes for outcomes before hearts are ready. Desperation fears loss so deeply that it tries to secure the future immediately. Love does not move this way. Love is not afraid of time because it trusts what is written by Allah. When someone is desperate, they chase not because they care deeply, but because they are afraid of being left behind. Their actions are driven by anxiety, not certainty. They need constant closeness to feel safe, and any pause feels like rejection. This kind of attachment creates pressure, turning what should grow naturally into something forced and heavy. Real love waits without fear. Waiting does not mean passivity or lack of effort. It means patience without panic. It means allowing trust to form at a pace that honors both hearts. Love understands that what is meant to remain does not need to be hunted down. It does not treat delay as danger. In Islam, waiting is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of tawakkul, trust in Allah's timing. When love is sincere, it does not attempt to control the outcome. It places effort where effort belongs and leaves results to Allah. This is why real love feels calm even when progress is slow. It is anchored in faith, not fear. Desperation often disguises itself as passion. It may look intense, emotionally charged, and deeply invested, but intensity without patience burns quickly. It demands reassurance constantly and seeks commitment before understanding has formed. Love that is real does not need to rush because it is not afraid of being tested by time. When love waits, it allows truth to surface. Time reveals consistency, character, and sincerity. A person who truly loves you is willing to let time confirm their intentions. They do not fear delay because they know their actions will speak louder than their urgency. Chasing creates imbalance. One person is always reaching, the other always retreating. Waiting restores dignity. It allows both hearts to approach each other freely, without pressure or fear. Love that waits respects boundaries, growth, and readiness. If you feel pressured to move faster than your heart can handle, pause. Love that is from Allah does not arrive in panic. It arrives with patience. Desperation chases because it is unsure. Love waits because it trusts that what is written will never miss its time. Real love remains steady even in silence. Silence has a way of revealing what words often hide. When communication slows or pauses, insecurity surfaces quickly in connections that are built on fear. Desperate attachment treats silence as abandonment. It assumes distance means loss and quiet means rejection. Real love does not respond this way. Real love remains steady, even when words are absent. When love is sincere, silence is not interpreted as danger. It is understood as part of life's natural rhythm. People get busy, emotions settle, space appears. Love that is grounded does not panic in these moments. It does not rush to fill every quiet gap with reassurance or demand explanations to feel safe. Desperation needs constant signals to survive. It measures love by response time, frequency of messages, and immediate emotional feedback. When those signals disappear, anxiety grows. This anxiety then turns into accusations, overthinking, and emotional strain. Real love does not operate on this fragile system. It trusts what has already been built. In Islam, trust is rooted in stability, not surveillance. When something is secure, it does not require constant monitoring. The same applies to love. When a bond is sincere, silence does not erase commitment. It does not undo care. It simply allows the heart to rest instead of remain on alert. A person who truly loves you does not disappear to create fear, nor do they punish you with silence. But when quiet naturally occurs, they remain emotionally present. Their steadiness does not depend on constant contact. Their intentions do not change because of temporary distance. Silence becomes a test only when love is built on insecurity. When love is real, silence becomes neutral. It does not add meaning where none exists. It does not create stories to fill the gap. The heart remains calm because it knows the foundation is firm. Many people mistake constant communication for emotional safety, but true safety comes from consistency over time, not constant noise. Love that is real allows space without fear and closeness without pressure. It knows that presence is not measured by words alone. If silence immediately triggers anxiety, it is worth asking what the connection is built upon. Love that is from Allah carries sakina. And sakina does not disappear when things go quiet. Real love remains steady, even in silence. Love never demands to be your only center. Love becomes unhealthy the moment it asks to replace everything else in your life. When a connection demands to be your only focus, your only source of happiness, or your only sense of meaning, it slowly pulls you away from balance. Real love does not work this way. Love that is sincere understands that a whole person is not meant to revolve around another human being. Desperation seeks control by becoming central. It wants to be the priority, above all else. Not out of care, but out of fear. It feels threatened by your responsibilities, your growth, your family, and your purpose. Over time, this creates tension, because you are forced to choose between love and the parts of life that keep you grounded. Real love does not compete for the center of your life. It respects that your faith, your character, and your responsibilities existed before the relationship and will continue to exist after it. Love that is healthy fits into your life without displacing what already keeps you stable. It supports your growth instead of restricting it. In Islam, the heart has one true center. Allah alone holds that place. Anything that demands to replace Him leads to imbalance and emotional harm. Love that is from Allah does not pull you away from Him. It brings you closer to Him by honoring limits, values, and purpose. When love demands exclusivity beyond what is healthy, it often disguises itself as passion. But passion that isolates is not devotion. It weakens your independence and slowly erodes your sense of self. Real love strengthens you as an individual. It does not need you to shrink your world to feel secure. A person who truly loves you does not feel threatened by your goals, your worship, or your personal growth. They understand that a fulfilled person brings more stability into a relationship, not less. They want you balanced, not dependent. Love becomes most beautiful when it stands beside your life, not on top of it. It becomes a source of support, not pressure. If a connection requires you to abandon your center to maintain it, it is not love rooted in sincerity. Real love knows its place. And because it does, it brings peace instead of imbalance. Real love never uses pain as leverage. Pain should never become a tool in a relationship. The moment someone uses your emotions to control your behavior, the foundation shifts from love to manipulation. Real love does not survive by creating fear, guilt, or emotional pressure. It survives through mercy, understanding, and respect. When affection is sincere, it is not withdrawn to punish you. Care is not used as a reward for obedience or taken away to force compliance. Desperation, however, often uses pain as leverage. It creates emotional consequences to maintain control. Silence becomes a weapon. Distance becomes a threat. Love becomes conditional. This kind of behavior trains the heart to walk on eggshells. You begin to fear expressing needs, setting boundaries, or speaking honestly because you are afraid of losing connection. That fear is not love. It is emotional captivity. Real love never traps the heart this way. In Islam, mercy is central to every healthy bond. Allah does not guide hearts through cruelty or emotional harm. Love that reflects Islamic values does not inflict pain to secure loyalty. It understands that sincerity cannot be forced, and commitment cannot be manipulated. Manipulative love often justifies itself by claiming sensitivity or past wounds. But unresolved pain does not excuse emotional harm. A person who truly loves you takes responsibility for their behavior instead of using their pain to control yours. Real love allows you to be honest without fear of punishment. It welcomes boundaries because boundaries protect dignity. It understands that disagreement does not equal abandonment. When love is secure, it does not need to threaten loss to maintain closeness. If you notice that someone only shows affection when things go their way, or withdraws care to make you comply, pause. Love that is from Allah does not condition mercy on obedience. It does not make you suffer emotionally to keep it. Real love does not use pain as leverage. It removes fear, not creates it. And where fear dominates, love cannot remain pure. Desperation makes noise. Love builds quietly. Noise often hides insecurity. Desperation announces itself loudly because it needs constant validation to survive. It relies on dramatic words, emotional swings, and visible intensity to feel real. Love does not need this performance. Love that is sincere does not shout for attention. It works quietly, steadily, and with intention. When attachment is desperate, it creates drama to maintain closeness. Arguments become frequent. Emotional highs and lows replace stability. The relationship feels intense, but intensity is not depth. Noise keeps the heart distracted, preventing it from noticing the lack of true foundation beneath the surface. Real love builds quietly. It grows through consistency, reliability, and daily respect. There is no need for constant emotional fireworks because the connection is not trying to prove itself. Love that is secure understands that what lasts does not need to be loud. It allows actions to speak over time. In Islam, barakah settles in what is calm and sincere. Allah does not place lasting goodness in chaos. When something is meant to endure, it develops with balance, not turbulence. This is why real love feels grounded rather than overwhelming. Desperation often confuses noise with passion. It mistakes emotional turbulence for closeness. But love that is true does not exhaust the heart. It strengthens it. Quiet love may seem less dramatic, but it is far more stable. When love builds quietly, trust deepens naturally. There is no rush to display commitment publicly or perform affection to convince others. The bond grows inwardly before it ever needs to be seen outwardly. If a connection depends on constant excitement, conflict, or emotional noise to feel alive, it will struggle to survive stillness. Love that is real does not fear quiet moments. It thrives in them. Desperation makes noise because it fears emptiness. Love builds quietly because it knows its foundation is strong. And what is built quietly often lasts the longest. Real love feels secure, not urgent. Urgency in love often feels like intensity, but beneath it usually lies fear. When a connection constantly feels rushed, pressured, or time-sensitive, it is worth pausing to understand why. Real love does not operate in panic. It does not behave as though everything will be lost if decisions are not made immediately. Love that is sincere feels secure, not urgent. Desperation creates the illusion that speed equals seriousness. It pushes for commitments, declarations, or milestones before trust has had time to form. This urgency is not born from care, but from insecurity. It fears that if things slow down, the connection will fade. Real love does not share this fear. When love is true, there is room to breathe. Progress happens, but without emotional pressure. You're not made to feel guilty for needing time, reflection, or certainty. Your heart is allowed to move at a pace that feels natural, rather than forced. In Islam, what is written does not need to be rushed. Allah's timing is never late, and what is meant for you will not pass you by because you chose patience. Love that is aligned with faith understands this. It places trust in Allah rather than urgency in people. Urgent love often feels anxious. It creates emotional deadlines and silent expectations. If reassurance is delayed, fear rises. If commitment is not immediate, doubt grows. This keeps the heart in a constant state of alert. Secure love does the opposite. It calms the heart. It reassures through consistency rather than pressure. Security in love feels like stability. You do not feel as though one wrong move will end everything. You are not constantly afraid of losing the connection. Love that is real allows space for mistakes, growth, and understanding. Urgency demands, security invites. Urgency pushes, security waits. When love is sincere, it does not force the future to arrive early. It allows what is meant to grow to unfold naturally. If a connection feels rushed in a way that disturbs your peace, listen to that feeling. Love that comes from Allah does not arrive in panic. It arrives with calm certainty. Real love feels secure, not urgent. True. Love protects your dignity first. Love loses its meaning the moment it asks you to sacrifice your dignity to keep it. True love does not require you to beg for attention, tolerate disrespect, or shrink yourself to remain chosen. When love is sincere, it protects your honor before it seeks your attachment. Desperation often ignores dignity in the name of closeness. It encourages chasing, pleading, and emotional compromise. Over time, this erodes self-respect and leaves the heart feeling small and exhausted. Real love does the opposite. It strengthens your sense of worth and allows you to stand upright within the connection. In Islam, dignity is not optional. Allah has honored every human soul, and anything that repeatedly humiliates you is not aligned with that honor. Love that is from Allah never places you in a position where you must trade your self-respect for affection. It does not make you prove your worth through suffering. True love speaks and acts with respect, even during disagreement. It does not belittle, threaten, or shame to maintain control. It understands that how someone treats you in moments of tension reveals the true nature of their care. Love that is real does not cross lines that wound your sense of self. When dignity is protected, communication becomes safer. You are not afraid to express your feelings or needs. You do not fear being dismissed or punished for honesty. Love that guards dignity allows vulnerability without exploitation. Many people confuse endurance with loyalty, but enduring humiliation is not devotion. True love does not test how much you can tolerate. It protects you from emotional harm, not exposes you to it. If staying in a connection requires you to lose yourself, silence your values, or accept disrespect, that connection is not love rooted in sincerity. Love that is written for you will honor who you are, not reduce you. True love protects your dignity first, and anything that does not protect your dignity cannot protect your heart. Peace is the final evidence of real love. After all the emotions, words, promises, and experiences, peace is what remains when love is real. Not excitement, not intensity, not emotional highs that come and go. Peace. When a connection is sincere, your heart is not constantly unsettled. It feels grounded, steady, and safe. Many people mistake emotional stimulation for love. They believe love must feel dramatic, consuming, or overwhelming to be real. But constant emotional turbulence exhausts the heart. It keeps you alert, anxious, and unsure. Real love does not live in survival mode. It brings relief, not tension. In Islam, peace is a sign of alignment. Allah places sakina in what is meant to stay. Sakina does not mean the absence of challenges, but it means the presence of stability even within them. Love that is true may face trials, but it does not rob you of inner calm. Your heart does not feel at war with itself. When love is real, your nervous system rests. You are not constantly afraid of being replaced, misunderstood, or abandoned. You do not overanalyze every word or moment. You feel secure enough to be yourself without fear of emotional consequences. Peace also shows itself in decision-making. You do not feel pressured or rushed. You are able to think clearly, pray sincerely, and move forward without panic. Love that is from Allah supports clarity rather than confusion. Real love allows you to grow without fear of losing the connection. It encourages honesty, patience, and trust. Even silence, distance, or disagreement do not destroy the sense of safety beneath it all. At the end of every test, peace is the evidence. If a connection repeatedly steals your peace, it is not love meant to remain. What Allah sends to your heart does not leave it in constant distress. Peace is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of security. And when love is real, peace is the proof.